What you are looking at right now are different shots that have been graded inside of Davinci Resolve, shot with the Sony FX30 and an Irix 30mm T1.5 Cine lens over the last couple of weeks. The only thing different to my normal workflow is the addition of a plugin that actually emulates Film Stock Emulation and much more. It is called Dehancer Pro and is not only available on desktop or notebook computers but also on iOS and iPad. How this works, why I actually really enjoy using it for my color grading, and how it can actually help you in your video projects will be revealed right after the intro. Dehancer is a long-running plugin that has seen countless of revisions and improvements over the years. In this video I'm going to show you all the different elements that the plugin uses and try to combine them to explain how it can enhance and actually enrich your videos in the future. This is not a full tutorial on it since there are quite a lot of videos of those already out on YouTube for you to enjoy. But if you are interested in seeing one especially made by me, go down to the comments and ask away there. If after watching this video you feel compelled to buy the plugin yourself, feel free to use the link in the description as well as the promo code LEECHTM to get 10% off the price. Let's begin with Film Stock, which is the most important and blatantly obvious thing you can do with Dehancer. The easiest way to show you is using some raw footage from my recent shoots and apply some of Dehancer's Film Stock emulations. I'll show you a couple of different variations and then we'll move on to some more tools. The thing I like the most is actually the nuances and the subtle changes most of them make. Often, when using a LUT pack to get a fast look, it's really striking and mostly overwhelming in its intensity and can look unnatural really fast. Not so much with Dehancer, it's a very subtle overlay that feels like analog film. But let's be honest, I actually have no clue what real film feels like, since I have never in my life shot anything on a real film camera. But what I'm looking for is not the real thing, but the feeling that it creates. And in my opinion, this is something that Dehancer does very well with all of its options. And overall, I'm sure you are watching this video because you are looking for a specific style or look and hope that Dehancer can achieve that. Next up, let's have a look at film grain. This is something that most of today's filmmakers aren't even used to anymore. Me included, since today's film cameras produce such a sharp and clean image that anything that looks like grain is instantly seen as negative or mislabeled as noise. Film grain itself is something that looks and feels very organic to film itself, and when used with the right intensity and amount, looks amazing and gives your footage a whole new edge. Sadly, this is something that cannot be seen much on YouTube since the compression just filters and destroys the subtle nuances. Nonetheless, here are a few shots done with some film grain in different variations. Oh, and by the way, this is not just a simple grain overlay as in most other VFX programs, but Dehancer recreates the image with some grain. The easiest way to see the difference, which isn't actually easy to see anyways, is using Resolve's built-in grain overlay and watch it back against Dehancer's. Can you actually spot the difference? Well, probably not due to the YouTube compression, but if you really want to see the difference, you should render out your files as ProRes and watch it back then. Next up, the thing that I really like the most about Dehancer, which is actually just a small feature in itself, well, the halation tab. Halation is something I always try to emulate in After Effects and never got the hang of it in recreating it really realistically. You can see this type of effect in many films when shot on analog film, and it gives this typical real film look that is so desirable. It's a simple red fringe around high contrast areas, giving it a nice shine and glow at the same time. In my opinion, it's the smaller and more nimble brother of activating the big bloom switch and a much better and more realistic way to imitate incoming lights overblowing your sensor a tad. It's, well, a simple set, a fantastic tool, and my most liked thing inside of Dehancer in my opinion. Next up, talking of bloom, well, the bloom setting inside of Dehancer, which brings up all of your highlights and makes them pop extra strong. The equivalent to using a real-life ProMist filter just in digital form. Here are a few shots taken with different settings and maybe with or without a ProMist filter in front of the lens. You decide what looks better overall. And now guess what? Actually nothing was shot with a promised filter in front. Everything was done with only the bloom filter, so I have to say I'm very confident in using the bloom if I ever forget bringing my promise onto the set or something similar. And now finally, let's take a look at all the other effects that Dehancer brings with it to create even more ways of, well, actually dehancing your image into the film look you so much desire. A simple vignette. This darkens your images and focuses the viewer's attention more towards the mids. Film breath. It's inconsistencies in color and exposure, which is something I haven't used before and I'm not actually planning on using it, since this is quite a powerful effect and not very subtle at all. Gate weave. Well, this is the emulation of film stock jumping around inside the barrel when it's used in filming, giving it a slight jitter movement you can see often in older films. And of course, not everything is to your liking, and many things should be used in very small increments and only in certain situations. But if you are interested in what footage looks like when actually adding all of it, well, here you go. I would actually recommend using the plugin in very subtle increments, so that it adds more to the overall feel of what you are going for, instead of bashing everything over your picture's head in just one sitting. Be cautious, be obsessed with the details, and be respectful to what you have created so far, and then Dehancer will be a friend that can actually help you in achieving what you strive to do with your next project. My conclusion is actually pretty simple. I like what it offers and can be a great help in achieving a quicker and more efficient workflow for finishing that. It's not really retro, but the retro film look that is so much desired nowadays. I used it very subtle in some of my latest commercial productions and the customers loved what they saw. Actually, I'm looking forward to using it in even more of my productions, as well as creating a lab pack specifically designed around some looks built with the film emulation and the FX30 in mind. More on that in a later video. As always, my name is Leech and I'm off right here in Next Scripts. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel. There are plenty more of this type of content and many other things available for you to watch. Have a great day, see you around, and goodbye.